Greetings friends, in this video I'll be going over the setup and rules for Ardent Reapers, the two-player procedurally generated deck game designed by G. Barger and Luke Olson. The game can be played physically with free print-and-play versions of your deck, or with professionally printed versions available for purchase. Alternatively, you can play digitally with any deck via the official Tabletop Simulator mod for free. If you'd like to learn more about playing via Tabletop Simulator, I put a link in the video description to a separate primer video. In Ardent Reapers, players take on the role of competing Reapers, conjuring a team of ephemeral creatures to battle in an effort to demonstrate their ability to wrangle order from a world that has been plagued by chaos. Each unique procedurally generated deck consists of 17 cards plus a deck list. There are 3 types of cards in Ardent Reapers: creatures, relics, and actions. Each card has a title, card type, card text, and victory point value. Additionally, creatures have a power value printed in the top left. By design, Ardent Reapers is a tokenless system, so all you need to play are 2 decks. To set up a game of Ardent Reapers, each player sets aside their deck list card and shuffles their deck. Next, players reveal cards from the top of their deck until they have revealed 2 creatures. These creatures are then put into play in the active state. Special note, any creature play effects are ignored during game setup. Any relics or actions revealed in game setup are put into their owner's discard pile. Each player then draws 3 cards to form their starting hand. Special note, starting hands can be modified by card effects on creatures. The starting player is the one who controls the lowest power creature. In the event of a tie, compare the next lowest power creature. If there is still a tie, the starting player is randomly determined. Before we go any further, it's important to note that creature and relic cards have 3 different states while in play. Cards rotated counterclockwise are considered dormant. Those that are in the vertical orientation are active. Lastly, cards that are rotated clockwise are considered mature. Each turn consists of 3 phases. In the first phase, players can, in whatever order they choose, hold, play, use, and discard cards. In the second phase, all friendly cards are rotated clockwise. In the last phase, you draw up to 3 cards which, once again, can be modified by card effects. First, let's talk about playing cards. If able to, you are required to play at least 1 card on your turn. Unless otherwise noted, there is no restriction on maximum number of cards you can play each turn. There is no cost to play cards, and you can play cards even if their full effect can't be resolved, in which case you simply resolve as much as you can. Note, if something prevents you from playing cards, you must first reveal your entire hand to your opponent. After doing so, you can then discard or hold any cards that you wish. Unless altered by game effects, creature cards are played in the dormant state on either side of your battle line. Relics similarly come into play dormant, but are situated further back in the relic line. Actions are played directly to your score pile. Note, actions fully resolve their effects before entering the score pile. Some creatures also have play texts, which resolve just like actions, with the exception that the creature is still played to the battle line instead of the score pile. While strategy isn't a focus of this video, I do want to stress the importance that action cards, in lieu of some method to recur them from your score pile, are often once and done. This means you'll generally want to get as much value out of them as you can, and discarding them to be played later in the game is often the optimal strategy. Next, let's talk about using cards. One of the primary ways creatures can be used is to fight. Any creature in the active or mature state can be used to fight. To do so, declare which opposing creature you are fighting. If the attacking creature has power equal to or greater than the defending creature, then the attacker wins. Inversely, if the attacker has lower power than the defender, then the defender wins. In either case, the winner of the fight is put into its owner's discard pile, and the loser is put into the score pile of whoever controlled the winning creature. Let's look at a couple scenarios. In this situation, this player has 2 creatures that are eligible to fight, because they're in either the active or mature state. Renegade, being an 8 power creature, can defeat either Deep Carl, being a 4 power creature, or Payday, being a 6 power creature. So what that looks like, if Renegade were to fight, for example, Payday, Renegade would win the fight, and it would go to its owner's discard. So you can check the back of the deck. It goes to Amashi's discard. Payday would have been defeated, and thus will be scored by whoever controlled Renegade in that fight, which was obviously this player. As an example of losing a fight, Parasite here is 3 power and could potentially fight into Deep Carl. There may be a reason you would want to do that, in which case Parasite would fight Deep Carl. Deep Carl would go to its owner's discard pile, and Parasite would actually then be scored by whoever controlled Deep Carl during that fight. Regardless of the outcome of a fight, if the attacking creature has a bonus ability, that text is resolved before all involved creatures leave the table. Note, even if the attacking creature loses, it still resolves its bonus effect. And additionally, defending creatures never resolve their bonus effects. Before we move on, I want to touch briefly on the concepts of ownership and control. Regardless of current location, a card's owner is the person playing the matching Reaper deck as notated by the deck name and unique rune symbol on the card backs. Through various effects, the controller of a card can change, but the owner always remains the same. Certain creature skills affect how they can fight. The sneak skill is paired with a value. When a creature with sneak is used to initiate a fight, you can optionally use the sneak value instead of the creature's printed power. Team Up allows combining the power of multiple creatures to defeat a larger creature. In order to do so, each creature must have the Team Up skill and be either active or mature. Importantly, the combined power of all Team Up creatures must exactly equal the power of the defending creature. If all these criteria are met, the defending creature is defeated and scored. All creatures involved in the Team Up fight are then sent to their owner's discard. Lastly, Bear Hug grants the ability for one creature to target multiple creatures. As with Team Up, the combined power of the targeted creatures must exactly equal that of the attacking creature with Bear Hug. In this case, the defending creatures are scored, and the attacking creature is sent to its owner's discard pile. Each of these skills is optional and can be ignored when initiating a fight. Additionally, if a creature is granted multiple skills, only one or none can be used in any given combat. If you'd like to learn more about skills, there's a great section in the rulebook for that. That's a wrap on fighting. Let's talk about harvesting. Any creature in the mature state can alternatively be harvested. To harvest the creature, first resolve any bonus ability it has, then move it to your score pile. Much like creatures, relics are played to the table in the dormant state. Relics can only be used by harvesting them when they are in the mature state. To do so, resolve the printed bonus ability and move it to your score pile. Some relics and creatures have constant abilities that don't include a bonus text. These abilities are immediately active regardless of the card's state. The ability will remain active until the creature or relic is removed from play. So as a quick recap, in this first phase, you can hold, play, discard, and use any number of cards in the order that you choose. Keep in mind you are required to at least play one card unless some card effect prevents you from doing so, or you otherwise have no cards in your hand. In the second phase, you must rotate all of the creatures and relics under your control clockwise one position. Cards already in the mature state will not rotate any further. Lastly, in the final phase, you draw up to 3 cards in your hand, keeping in mind this number can be increased and decreased through various means. And that's the general turn structure. Gameplay proceeds with players taking alternating turns until one player has no cards in play under their control, as well as no cards in their hand, draw pile, and discard pile. At this point, you finish resolving any pending card effects or abilities, and the game ends. Players then count up the points in their score pile, being sure to subtract any negative points from the total. Note, only cards that are in score piles are totaled at the end of the game. Any cards left in play or hand do not count towards a player's score. Whichever player has the most points wins the game. In the event of a tie, the player who went second is declared the winner. In exceptionally rare cases, it may happen that a game ends up with both players able to continue to play, but neither could ever win. In such cases, the game is declared a draw. And there you have it. That's Ardent Reapers in a nutshell. If you have any questions, be sure to leave a comment below and I'll do my best to respond. Additionally, I put links in the video description to the Living Rulebook and Ardent Reaper's website. In particular, the rulebook has great glossary, frequently asked questions, and often overlooked rules sections. If you'd like to get connected with the Ardent Reaper community, I'd also recommend joining their Discord, which is a great place to ask questions, chat, and coordinate games. For now, I hope you have a blast discovering all there is to uncover in Ardent Reapers. Catch you next time.